Greetings, Keith Filer here, and welcome to a demonstration of my latest creation. I call it Electronic Left-Right Center. It's actually a computerized version of a popular dice game known by LCR. And what I've done is I've taken that concept and computerized it. In doing that, I took a Arduino Uno R3 microcomputer, attached it to a breadboard, used some assorted electronic components, and breadboarded that into something that you can actually see, touch, and feel. The code I generated on a laptop using a variant of the C programming language, which I then downloaded to the Arduino Uno, which makes the whole thing work. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started with the demo. Okay, a brief explanation of the game. This game is designed for 3 or more players. You can have 3 or you can have as many people as you can fit around a table. It's a great game, very easy to learn. There's no skill involved. The computer takes care of everything for you. Basically, each player has 3 units in front of them. Typically, people will use poker chips. I don't have any poker chips, so I'm using United States currency. These are U.S. quarters. Of course, you would never, ever play this game for real money. That would be gambling, and kids, gambling is illegal. Basically, what happens is each player has a turn. They get to spin as many units as they have, up to 3. So we're starting off with player 1 here. They would take a spin, and the spin is going to come up with one of 4 outcomes. Either the spin is going to light up a green LED, in which case the player would take one of their units and give it to the player to their left. If it comes up red, that's right. So the player would then take 1 unit and pass it to the player on their right. If the player gets a yellow light, that means it's a pass. Nothing happens. You want as many yellow passes in this game as possible because you're not giving away money. And if the player gets a blue light, that means they owe 1 unit to the center. This center is the pot. Now, this game continues around and around and around as players lose their units. And finally, all the units wind up in the center, in the pot. And the last player that has at least 1 unit remaining wins the pot. So I'm going to go ahead and start the game, and we'll explain more as I get into it. Before we go any further, please do me a huge favor, like this video, and subscribe to this channel for more interesting content. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and start with player 1. Player 1 is going to spin 1 of 3 times. Perfect. Player 1 got a pass. They do nothing. Second spin for player 1. Oh, that's great. Another pass. Third spin for player number 1. Okay, so player 1 owes 1 unit to the player to the left, which is player 2. It's now player 2's turn. They have at least 3 units, so they are going to spin 3 times. Spinning once. Owes 1 unit to the player to the left. It's a pass. And player 2 starts off the pot with 1 unit. Now we're on to spinning for player number 3. Player 3 owes 1 unit to the player to the right. Second spin. And 1 unit to the player to the left. Last spin. And it's in the pot. On to player number 4. First spin. It's a pass. One unit to the left. Last spin. And it's a pass. Back to player number 1, spinning 3. One to the left. Second spin. It's a pass. Last spin. Oh, it's a pass. Excellent. On to player number 2, spinning 3. It's a pass. Second spin. One to the left. One to the left. All right. Player 3. It's a pass. One to the right. One to the left. Player 4, spinning 3. It's a pass. One unit to the left. Last spin. It's a pass. Back to player 1. One to the right. One to the left. And another to the left. Now, this is important. As you can see, player 1 no longer has any units available. So, they go on what's called grace. That means that for the next round, if player 2 or player 4 spins them in, they're still in the game. If not, they're out of the game. So right now, they're on what's called grace. Player number 2, spinning 3. One to the left. One to the center. And one to the left. Player number 3. Pass. Pass. One to the left. Player 4, spinning 3. It's a pass. One to the left. Player 1's back in. Okay. Player 1, spinning 1. Player 1 only has 1 unit, so they can only spin once. Okay, and that was player 1's last unit, and so they are out of the game. They're done. Player 2, spinning 2. They have 2 units. They spin twice. One to the right. Player 1's out, so that goes to player 4. One to the center. Player 2 is out of units, and so they are now on grace. On to player 3, spinning 2. One to the right. One to the right. Player 3 is now on grace. They're out of units. On to player 4, spinning 3. One to the center. It's a pass. One to the left. Player 1's out. That goes to player 2. Player 2 is now spinning 3. One to the center. One to the left. It's a pass. On to player 3. They're still in the game. So, best spin that person could have got is a pass. On to player 4. It's a pass. One to the right. One more spin. One to the left. On to player 2, spinning 2. It's a pass. One to the left. Player 3, spinning 3. It's a pass. One to the left. Final spin. It's a pass. On to player 4, spinning 2. One to the left. It's a pass. Player 2. One to the left. One to the left. Okay, so player number 2 was on grace. They have no more units. They are out. Player 3, spinning 3. Center. Left. Pass. Pass. Player 4, spinning 2. One to the left. Pass. Player 3, spinning 3. One to the left. Center. And left. Now, if you recall, player 3 was on grace. They don't get a chance to get spun back in, so that means player 4 is the last player with any units, at least 1 unit, and therefore player 4 wins the pot. And that is how the game is played. And lastly, what game would be complete without a hidden Easter egg? This is the spin sound at regular speed. Now in the video, let's start slowing that down. I coded a feature I call Battery Saver. If the player does nothing for 5 minutes, the game will fail over to a battery warning, and it just starts playing this really obnoxious sound, letting the player know, hey, get going with the game or turn the machine off so you can save your battery. Well, my next step is to finish my case design, come up with a 3D printer, miniaturize the circuitry, and I'll have a finished product.